Welcome back, guys, to the For Nerd's Sake podcast. Today, we're going to start things off a little bit seriously. You already know who's on today's podcast. As always, me and my co-host Small. Before we can really get into what's going on, it is a day of mourning for when you guys hear this. But we have lost some great people and great things recently in the nerd community. As it just came out, has been revealed the death of Kazuki Takahashi, aka the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh. They finally released it. So he did pass July 4th, and we are now getting the reason as to what caused his passing. So it says on E! News that Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of the popular Japanese series Yu-Gi-Oh, died July 4th while trying to save three others from drowning, according to a military newspaper, Stars and Stripes, and he died at the age of 60 years old. What do you think after just hearing that little piece?
Well, I'm glad to hear it wasn't like false play or he got sick or anything like that. He gave his life saving other people, so it's not great that he died, obviously, but it's nice to know that he gave himself up, knowing that he was able to save three others. Like he's
Yeah,
just gonna continue his legacy. Even Yu-Gi-Oh will continue his legacy, obviously, but like this will just like people will remember him for that even more.
yeah, I think that's a very sentimental way to go out. Like when I first heard of his passing, it hurt. Like I never really knew him. Obviously, many of us don't, but it was just because he's responsible for like a huge part of my childhood that it really did hurt me as if I actually knew him. And like I've said this before, like growing up, I had a very hard time reading, and I didn't get better at reading until I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Ironically, I know I make jokes all the time that Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read, and that's, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's kind of true. Yu-Gi-Oh players don't necessarily read their cards, but it was just tough hearing that. And it's definitely something that's after hearing, what was the reason for his death, it does hold a lot more weight to it, and to really think that someone at his age and someone at his status of being like a multimillionaire, maybe even a billionaire for a popular manga series that wasn't even meant to be a game, which is a lot of people don't understand. Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't meant to become a card game. It was just a manga that used to highlight different games that they would play, and the main character Yugi and his alter ego Yami Yugi would just they would often play against people who were cheaters at various dangerous games, and they would get punished after Yugi would win. And that's why the name of Yu-Gi-Oh translates to King of Games. So it's really when we say Yu-Gi-Oh, it's really just called King of Games, but it ended up becoming a card game because of one of the issues being about a card game. So it's tough because hearing some of his inspiration for Yu-Gi-Oh, Izuki wanted to create like a hero that was similar to like Goku or Naruto or Ichigo, except instead of using raw strength and training and power, he wanted to create somebody who was more strategic and intelligent as a way that to show off that even people who play games can be seen as heroes. And for him to sacrifice his life to save people alongside of a or trying to sacrificing his life while working with a U.S. military guard is just it's very poetic for him to pass. So they did say that Major Robert of the U.S. Military, who was working as a scuba diving instructor in the area in Japan, where Kazuki drowned. He attempted to save three people, and he was caught in a riptide on the island. So yeah, it's not easy to go out from drowning. So his last moments had to have been very tough, but it really does take a strong person to really put themselves in that type of situation. So he will be missed, and God bless his soul for that. So it's very unfortunate for Bobby Code Rain to have also left us as well. He will be missed, especially to the large community that is the fan base of Harry Potter. So may his soul rest in peace as well, and may the soul of Cartoon Network rest in peace, as it is on the chopping block, or not necessarily Cartoon Network, but its studio has been canned along with Warner Brothers and Discovery merger. So I want to see what's going on with this, because now I understand Cartoon Network is kind of dead because all they do is just play Teen Titans Go most of the time, and maybe some other shows, but Teen Titans Go is definitely their moneymaker, and that's why they keep making it or keep at least promoting it. But I was surprised that this was something that was going to get canned. what it says from the Verge article. It says, along with making Warner Brothers Discovery and a less diverse place overall, CEO David Za, I, that last name is very, very interesting. Anyways, the latest bit of the corporate restructuring is probably going to gut Cartoon Network and turn it into a shadow of its former self, if it wasn't already that already. For understandable reasons, Warner Brothers Discovery moved to fire 82 employees and eliminate 43 positions from its television division, grabbed headlines when news of the decision broke earlier this week. The implications of the company plan to merge Warner Brothers Animation and Cartoon Network Studios may be much larger than Warner Brothers. What Warner Brothers Television CEO Channing Dungey recently implied in a company-wide internal memo. According to Dungey's memo, Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe, Warner Brothers Animation, and Cartoon Network Studios will all continue to exist and be run by Sam Register as a part of the company's new streamlined structure. Hopefully that streamlined structure gets 40% off, like how HBO Max has everything 40% off because they cut 40% of their content, but you know. But the latter two animation labels will now share development and main production teams. That actually kind of worries me just reading that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because that worries me a little bit.
Uh, I don't know though. I mean, I'm upset that they canned Cartoon Network. I mean, like, well, for me, that was my childhood. I watched all those shows all the time, and now knowing that like the kids, like obviously, like kids who are younger, they don't get to experience the same shows because we're the ones with nostalgia with it. But knowing that they won't have shows like that in the future, it makes me sad.
Yeah, things have to change. I wonder if that's how our parents felt when like the shows they used to watch and the studios that used to exist when they were kids end up getting like canned over time. Like it just kind of died because yeah, this
I
is
feel
it's
like that
sad.
really didn't happen with like the shows our parents watched because like even now, like there's channels that will still show like the shows that were on then, and my parents will sit down and watch them. I'm sitting there being like, "Damn, this is a pile of garbage for some of these." And they're like, "Nah, this show was great back in the day." It's like I just don't see it, but they still
Yeah,
show them. So unless they keep like the channel that's actually on TV and just run reruns the entire time, I don't know.
yeah. Like maybe we'll get to that point where we can watch all our old stuff. I mean, they did have Boomerang before Cartoon Network decided to ruin Boomerang.
That's true.
So, but it does worry me that they're all going to just be under the same team. Because now that hear that, I'm just thinking, okay, so probably a lot of shows are not just going to get made because they don't have the manpower to just separate the studios anymore because they want to put everything in one spot. So, we may never see like some of the cartoons, like some really profitable cartoons that could come to and like really breathe new life into the show because something like Amazing World of Gumball or something, well, just that alone uses so many different animation styles. I'm glad it had its lifespan to the span over the years and even get its I think its movie still is in development. But something like that is just it's nothing easy for a show like Amazing World of Gumball to just come by. And then I think a show like Cricket Creek is I think it's still gonna be around since it's already been in circulation for a while. And a few other shows that I'm not familiar with.
And they're adding Craig to multiverses apparently, so I highly doubt they'd be getting rid of the show if they're going to be adding the character soon.
They gotta keep that up. I wish they could bring back Man of Action and we could get more action cartoons because Cartoon Network killed off the last bit of those.
That's true.
So they technically killed off the last bit, but I would just say toy sales because it's always toy sales that get these shows canned. Like, bro, just make better toys.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be keeping the shows that like you're hoping for. I've been seeing a lot of things online where apparently Warner Brothers is known for vaulting a bunch of shows when they get a hold of them. So a lot of these Cartoon Network shows that they now control, they might be vaulted if they go towards their past record. So
Yeah, so stuff is probably just never coming back. The things that are coming back, Harrison Ford, Han Solo from the Star Wars series, is said to be the new General Ross for the Captain America New World Order movie and the Thunderbolts. Now, if you guys don't know, the actor who did play General Thunderbolt Ross did pass away, unfortunately. And he definitely looked the part for Thunderbolt Ross. But it seems that we're getting Harrison Ford to replace him as a recast. I honestly did not think that was going to happen. Like I thought, because Marvel doesn't really recast certain characters. Like they do recast, recasted the Hulk, they recasted they recasted a War Machine, but at that point it was very early in Marvel's lifespan, so I didn't think they were going to recast anymore. But I assumed they were just going to make the Thunderbolts in his honor and just do that. But he's coming on to Marvel and stuff, which actually starts to make me think, for people, who would you like to recast as like Marvel actors, or even if they were to add new heroes, who would you want? Not heroes that we already named or we already know that's coming, but any heroes you would think you would like to see in a movie from Marvel. Who would you want as an actor to play them, or what just hero do you want to see at all?
If I'm being honest, I'm not really too sure. I enjoy, well, I like all the actors they've chosen so far, except for a few of them, but they've already changed them. But I did read somewhere a couple days ago that not John Wick, but the guy who plays him, I'm drawing a blank on his, Keanu Reeves. He said he wanted to join the MCU, but he wanted a specific role. And I
Oh, I
can't.
heard about it.
I think he said he wanted Reed Richards or something like that.
No, I thought it was Ghost Rider.
Yeah, so Ghost Rider, that's who it was. But I saw another. That's why I got confused. I saw another one today where. Have you seen the show Lucifer?
No, but I've definitely heard of it. Would you cast the character?
No, the guy who
Lucifer?
plays the main character Lucifer in the show Lucifer, he's the one that wants to be Reed Richards in the new movie.
Ah,
That's why I got him confused. I saw those both within a couple days. Yeah, John Wick wants to be Ghost Rider, and then the guy that plays Lucifer wants to be Reed Richards, which
I've heard.
I really enjoy those. I think they'd be good for those roles.
I've heard people try to fan cast the guy from the Netflix show You to be Reed Richards.
I
You know,
don't think I've seen. I know who that is.
I can't even think of his name because I never watched You. People have like told me to watch it. I think the reason as to why I don't want to watch You, I don't think it's personally for me. I think someone brought it up on TikTok. Yeah, Perfect Influence TikTok. But somebody brought it up saying that
Oh
you know,
well,
as a
I just
society
looked them
or
up.
as a society we have an issue with like what do I want to say? How do I say it? We have an issue with really like popularizing or fantasizing or just like kind of just going past the fact that the main character is a psychopath. Basically, it's just a creep, and we're like low key rooting for the guy. I mean, I've heard like some of the things that he does are accidental. Some of the things he does in the show are accidental for those who haven't watched, so I don't really want to spoil anything from what I do know. But the fact that the whole concept of you is this guy who really likes this girl, and isn't his name like Joe in the show or whatever? He likes this girl, but he's also a freaking weirdo. And he's just like a creep, and he's like always stalking her and stuff, and like he's like manipulating things in her life and just trying to be around her. And then the fact that in real life that is incredibly horrifying for a woman to go through, but when it's fiction, it's okay, and people love the show like that. I think that's the same with people who are like really in love with the Jeffrey Dahmer series, who were able to stomach that. I didn't even watch it, but somebody highly recommended me not to watch it. And then how some people were saying like, yeah, I feel bad for him, or like there's like so many memes or people just trying to recreate Jeffrey Dahmer, and I'm just like, yeah, that's weird. That's super weird. I'm not really with that, which makes me not want to watch the show even more because that's a real life psychopath. That he really killed a lot of people and ate them. And I heard he used to torture them and turn them into zombies by pouring acid in the back of their brains through like a hole or whatever. Like, and what makes it even worse, I've heard that, what was this, like the 70s,
Yeah,
80s, 70s, right?
yeah,
Um,
late '70s, early '80s.
yeah, it was like because it was happening in a low income neighborhood, an impoverished neighborhood. So some people say he was doing it like he was racist or whatever, but some people also argue that it was only because he was just in a low income area, and that's what he was often around. So the police often didn't do anything. They didn't believe that he could be a psychopath, so they just often just passed it, like most people, most police officers do. And he was just able to terrorize people. Like he was able
Yeah,
to
I'm probably
terrorize
gonna
people.
watch the series. I've actually been meaning to watch that.
Yeah, so I personally, I wouldn't watch it, nor do
Well,
I like the
I
idea.
studied that for a hot minute when I was in late high school, early couple years of college. I was studying that aspect of the criminal justice system. So I'm actually pretty intrigued by it.
Yeah, I don't think I would really want to watch a docu series and one even feel bad for a psychopath, and to really want to have to see what type of, because I even heard some of the scenes weren't real. They kind of just made some of the things up, or had an interpretation of how things would have went down. It
Well,
wasn't.
they can't know all the facts of how stuff actually happened because nobody was actually there besides Dahmer himself.
Yeah, so I don't feel bad for what happened to dude because if what I hear is true, yeah, that's not really how I would like to go out. And it just kind of sucks. Which actually, nah, I don't even know if I want to get political out here. Screw it. Just give me a few seconds. Which makes me think because he was, I guess, well, I would assume homosexual, and that's a lot of his victims. I would assume that maybe the LGBT community probably would have had an issue with people. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do, and I haven't seen it. Had an issue with people kind of like popularizing him and really kind of being on his side, or even having a sense of sympathy for him because that's just like evil. What he's done is legitimately evil, and especially to that community's people. You know, even though it's back in the day, I mean, it would be very, very scary for someone if I was homosexual to think that somebody out here would do that to me, thinking that it's just going to be a one night stand, and next thing you know, I've been turned into a zombie or had my heart eaten out of my chest. So
Well, he got what was
I
coming
don't
to
know.
him. So
Yeah, I know we got like a little far off trying to fan cast people, but I would actually like Blue Marvel. I'm sorry. I would like to see Blue Marvel. I'm not sure if it's ever gonna happen. It might happen in the was it the Marvels movie? The Marvels, that's what it's
probably.
called. Yeah, I think it might happen. I think it's pretty cool. I only recently heard about Blue Marvel. He used to be a hero that existed during the time, was it maybe what 60s or 70s in the Marvel comics where he was like a very popular and a very strong hero, and then he had to go into retirement
No,
after getting injured.
Blue Marvel first appeared in 2008.
No, I mean like his comic origin.
Yeah, his it says first appearance November 2008.
That's not what I meant. I said comic origin, not his first issue. Like his
His
origin was that he existed in
well,
the
wouldn't
80s.
his origin in like when he first that would be his first appearance, wouldn't it?
Maul, when I say comic origin, I'm talking within the comic. It existed during the I don't even know, between the 60s and 80s. I will say.
Oh, okay, I see what you meant. I thought you meant like he first appeared in the comics in the 80s, so that's what I was saying. No, 2008. But okay, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah, I mean that he in the comics he existed during a certain time period in history, and when they found out he was a black hero, it was unacceptable by the government or by the public, but the government always knew, so he just went into retirement. And then fast forward to now, he came out of retirement to be a part of like the Avengers or to help out the other heroes. He's supposed to be extremely strong, like which I really like that. I really like the whole idea of like somebody who existed as a hero, and then just kind of went into retirement. I think he's their version of like Icon, in my opinion. If you guys don't know DC's Icon, he was basically their he was part of the Dakotaverse, which highlighted a lot of black heroes under Milestone Comics. And he was like their version of a Superman that used to exist like way, way back in the day, had a similar origin to Superman and everything. But then he just stopped being a hero after a while. It's because he can live for like a very long time. He just took the identity of his son after his son passed away, which was actually pretty weird. But he ended up just coming out of retirement in the future, so and decided to become a hero. So yes, their version of Icon, at least the way I see it, I would love to see him in a movie. And if I can fan cast somebody straight off the top of my head, Denzel Washington off the top of my head, Denzel, or me, as a young version of him, but Denzel Washington off the top of my head to fan cast. All right. Moving on to all things Marvel, She Hulk has finally aired its final episode. All the suffering you guys have suffered is over. We haven't watched it yet, and we will finally watch the series coming soon because I can't give you guys a day or a date. It was spoiled for me, which I don't care.
Yeah, I've seen a few
But
spoilers, but like the main ending hasn't been spoiled for me yet.
yeah, if you guys haven't been spoiled yet, we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, it finally aired. Um, I've heard some people's opinions on it. Some people were saying like people really thought the series was going to be serious. Like, no, the series is supposed to be comic accurate to her and how she's just more of a comedic character. And other people were like, they didn't really understand that bit. I'm not sure. Didn't watch it. I would assume so because she does have a lot of fourth wall breaks, makes a lot of jokes.
I've actually seen a lot of
Um,
people recently saying that the show was actually a good refresher from the usual just everything action to now it's like a
yeah,
little bit comedy, the fourth wall breaking and all that. It was a good refresh.
I mean, I'm only saying this because we only seen it ourselves, but I think a good refresher was also Hawkeye, in my opinion. Some people was like, "I'm not gonna watch Hawkeye." Like, what? I thought Hawkeye was actually pretty.
Yeah, I thought
I
Hawkeye
think
was
actually,
amazing.
because it didn't even really it focused on Hawkeye, but it didn't focus on Hawkeye too much.
No, it was mostly about the chick and I can't remember her name.
Yeah, Kate Bishop. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't even know if she ever had like a hero name. I think they just call her Kate. But
I think she becomes
focus
actually. I think she becomes Hawkeye later on in
yeah,
the comic series. But
I really do hope they could do a Young Avengers like TV series because they already
Yeah,
got
well, if
paid.
it's anything like the Titans TV series, it's gonna be trash.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
I
good.
thought
Don't
you
get
said
me
you like
wrong, but it
Titans.
wasn't accurate at all.
I thought you said you like Titans.
Oh, I like it, but it's just not like accurate enough for it to be like considered good.
I don't even know why we even got like a Titans show if it wasn't gonna be, because what I've seen from like the budget, not the but like the price of it, but what I've seen in the work, like from here and there, like when it first started, I'm like, I wasn't sure. Like I was hyped for it, and then they was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be on DC's streaming service. I'm like, I'm not paying for that. Was a Young Avengers show could be pretty good because I think what is it? I think they still have a few more grounded characters, nothing too OP. But now that She-Hulk's done, was it Daredevil's next for our shows?
Daredevil's
Uh,
getting a movie, isn't he?
no, he's getting a show.
Oh, I thought he was getting a movie.
No, Daredevil's like, who wants to watch a Daredevil?
Me?
You're literally like one of 6 people who actually want to see a Daredevil movie when we already have a Daredevil show.
Fair enough.
So, speaking of shows, Netflix. Netflix has lived long enough to become a villain. I gotta read this, man. Oh man, Netflix is now going to start putting ads on their streaming service. I really did not think I would ever be saying these words in my entire life. What do you think, just based off of that?
For Netflix, the company, it's a great idea for them, but for the consumer, it's not so great. Like, I hate watching ads. I pay for YouTube Premium just not to get the ads, which is $15 a month.
Man, I hope if they're gonna do ads, I hope they do it like how Amazon does it. You can just skip them, and they're only promoting their own works.
Probably not, but they are. It's like a tier list, like the way Hulu does it. So instead of what it's Netflix like, $15 a month.
Yeah, like stupid high. Like I remember it was $5, then it was $10.
Yeah.
Now,
so this one with the ads is gonna be like $7.
yeah, but IGN says that Netflix has finally announced the release of their cheaper ad support tier, along with details on what exactly is included with this low price subscription. The streaming company has been working on an ad supported tier for some time now, and Netflix finally announced the new basic package with ads. Tier list will be released on November 3rd at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The new tier costs about $6.99 a month and will be available in the U.S., Australia, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea, Mexico, Spain, and the U.K. So basically most of the world, biggest countries. So if you guys, wait, I was going to say maybe China, but China doesn't have Netflix. I think China...
Yeah, I think China banned it.
They blocked it, yeah. China can't control it, so they're gonna block it. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, okay, ads, that's crazy. But then they said, yeah, this basic package is gonna have 720p. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's a little upsetting.
You're gonna dial back the visual quality, and then I heard on top of that a rumor. I'm not sure if this was like a rumor or not. I think it was confirmed that they were also going to keep certain shows off certain packages.
What?
Yeah, I don't. Hold on, bro. Like, what do you think of just hearing that? Like, yeah, we're gonna just completely keep some
Okay,
shows off.
it's not for me, but I understand the lower price you get ads. I understand that, but lowering the quality, that's asinine.
Yeah, it says it right here. It says the company also says users can expect an average of 4 to 5 minutes of ads per hour.
4 to 5 minutes of ads.
Yeah, that will be 15 or 30 seconds in length. Ads will play before and during the shows and films. Hulu doesn't even have ads in films during the film. Like before, yes, but not during.
The only TV shows have them during.
Yeah, and then it says Netflix also revealed that some movies and TV shows won't be available due to licensing restrictions through it working for its foremost users will not be able to download titles. So I guess maybe because of certain companies who want their shows on Netflix, that they're probably like, no, we want this on the highest package. Which I can understand if that's the case. If they're just keeping it away.
Yeah, if it's like a new release movie, then I can understand that.
Yeah, so but still, even having a lesser package for visual quality, I still can't.
That's the part that's getting me the most. Because who's gonna want to watch it in 720p?
Yeah, I'm like, nah.
Like, it's not the worst, but it's also not the best.
Yeah, in my opinion, Netflix has no position to be out here talking about. So
yeah, they're like everybody knows Netflix, but there are so many other streaming services out now that if they keep doing stuff like this, they might lose the crown.
Yeah, because they already lost millions of subscribers after they stopped the password sharing, which I understand. I do understand why, because you want to make as much money as possible, and you can't really do that when people are sharing passwords, you know what I mean? And then they kind of doubled down on that, and kind of stood their ground, and more people left. So plus most people go on Netflix to watch the shows that they can already see on TV, or that was already a show that doesn't really get aired anymore. That's really the only reason why they have like their hits for exclusives, like what's it called, Squid Games. There are movies like man, what is one of their,
What if they had a big movie like really pop off?
they did, I just completely forgot because I don't watch Netflix movies.
I really
uh
watch the TV shows
they
either.
have Stranger Things.
I actually
Yeah,
haven't
it's
watched
also
Stranger Things. The last show I watched on Netflix was Squid Game.
yeah. They do have, for anime, they do have Edge Runners, which you still gotta watch, I
I'll
believe.
guarantee that one's in the premium package.
Yeah. Yeah, Netflix has, lived long enough to become a villain. We've heard that quote before. Die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And I think the next service that's gonna probably take over is Prime Video. I mean, I have Prime Video. If Prime Video would like to sponsor us, that would be amazing. But Netflix might just have to start going. I mean, it's probably not part of their brand, but they probably have to start, giving live streaming for
You know who
sports and
could be
stuff
a
like
real
that.
competitor if they did it right?
Oh,
YouTube. 'Cause they already do the movies and TV show thing, but instead of just paying individually for every movie, if they just make it where it's like the same price as Netflix or even a little bit cheaper, but you get access to it like a normal streaming service, YouTube could be a decent competitor because they already get millions of viewers every day just off the YouTube videos. But if they had the movies and everything, just do a package, they'd be golden. I think they could really take the crown.
what was that? What was that like subsection of YouTube, or that like what's it called? YouTube Red?
Yeah, YouTube Red. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But that's
Yeah,
most that's
wasn't that
mostly
the
like YouTube
that was like
original
the
TV shows.
first? Yeah, that's when they had all the originals. That was like their first wave of stuff that they had on there, where they had YouTubers have their own shows and stuff. Like what was it, like Scare PewDiePie, and did Markiplier have one? They had like some like mini series for the YouTubers and stuff, and that kind of died. I don't know, maybe it died because PewDiePie said a bad word on stream, and I think that's the last of that for the YouTube originals. But then yeah, YouTube has always been one of the biggest threats to media. Like most people watch YouTube more than they watch TV.
Oh, they got rid of YouTube Red.
They did get rid of YouTube Red.
Yeah, that's what YouTube Premium and YouTube Music is what replaced it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I would say probably when PewDiePie said a bad word, YouTube Red had to go. Is YouTube gaming still a big thing? I know they have like the gaming hashtag on there, but it's like
Well,
YouTube
gaming's always going to be big on YouTube because everybody wants to watch other people play games.
like the specific section though, like
Let me check.
because it was like its own little thing, like how Premium is.
The only sections I got is YouTube TV, YouTube Music, and YouTube Kids. But then they have
So
like
I
the
guess
tags for gaming, podcasts. They have their own like tags, but
if I had to give some free game to YouTube, I'd definitely take advantage of the YouTube TV thing or the Premium thing with other content creators, because many of the YouTube content creators do get upset with YouTube and how they don't really prioritize YouTubers anymore, even though it is a creator-based platform. But that's only because big companies are trying to invest in YouTube, and YouTube does lose a lot of money. I still can't wrap my head around it, but YouTube does lose a lot of money. That's why they're having 2 ads on most videos. That's why they're doing the YouTube TV. That's why they're kind of bending themselves. They're bending themselves over for
oh
like.
yeah, the amount of storage they need to have just to have all those videos. Like the YouTube channel Moist Critical, you've probably heard of him. He did a video the other day where he was talking about this one channel. In the past 3 years, he's uploaded over 2 million videos.
Yeah,
And it's the amount of storage and just the amount of money that would take to host that. Like, it's insane.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm hoping that YouTube can do a whole YouTube Red over again in like our YouTube originals, because there's a lot of creators that have very popular series. Like, if you guys seen RDC World, they've done a lot of big things, made a lot of shows and cultural references that have just become entire followings, and it just become a whole bunch of a sphere of branding for them based off of shows that they love, like animes and sports. That if they were given YouTube like production, their own little series where they can just continue what they're doing or have certain exclusives on there, that could definitely blow up for YouTube, as long as they stay in the good boy zone for YouTube when they're trying to show this off to advertisers, because advertisers do have to be careful where they put their money. We don't want another ad apocalypse. So there's that. But YouTube, they do have the tools to kind of destroy a lot of streaming services, because at this point, streaming services have just definitely become the new TV. It was supposed to be a way out, but now it's just it's coming around full circle now. So hopefully, it doesn't stay this way, and it's just a phase. I guess the next thing that I had on here for me is Terrifier 2. I haven't even watched the first one. They
I
said
don't even know what
this
that is.
movie, this horror movie, is extremely graphic, and it has caused people to feel very lightheaded and even caused them to throw up because of how the movie is so gore related, gory, and everything. So yeah, basically after checking out this article about the movie, yeah, the film is just extremely graphic, and it has caused a whole lot of people to throw up. And one, now I kind of want to watch it. And two, I think people just might have a weak stomach for like classic gore. Like, man, people have become so soft to throwing up at movies now.
Yeah, well, they haven't really made any gore movies recently, have they?
No, not really. You did tell me like a long time ago that some movies are so scary that they can't even be shown in theaters.
Oh yeah, there are banned movies and stuff like that. Like I remember one that they filmed in uh somewhere in like towards like the Middle East in that area ish, where it was so like violent and gory that the director actually got arrested and questioned because they thought the footage was real. Like he was actually torturing people, because a rule in the contract was that the actors couldn't go into civilization for a little bit after the movie aired. So the movie like aired, and then for like 6 months, nobody heard from the actors. So everybody thought it was like, wow, maybe this guy actually killed him and all that, because it looked really real. And then he had to like show them like, no, they're still alive. They're still alive.
You did also tell me about this one older movie. I forgot what it was called. It was about was it based off true events or something, where a little girl got kidnapped and her friend went to go find her, and she was like tortured and stuff.
Oh yeah, oh, I can't remember what that was called. So it wasn't technically based off a true story, but people believe it was, because there's a very similar. There's a very similar one, but yeah, this girl, she was kidnapped and then she was tortured, and then during the movie there's like 3 or 4 random flashes on the screen of a very graphic like photo. Like you see one where it's just like her skull in acid or something like that. You see one where it's like the beginning process of her being or by the pursuer, the whatever you want to call him. There's a few others, but I can't remember what they were. Yeah, I can't remember what they were. But yeah, like the scenes were so graphic that people I saw all over for a little bit. People just saying, "Do not watch this movie. You'll have a terrible time." I think it was on Netflix for a while. If I can remember the movie, I'll say it, but I honestly can't remember. It's been a few months.
Yeah. The only time I've actually ever been like very spooked, or like very like physically or like even mentally scarred from watching something, I think it's like an old video on YouTube, and it's like, I believe it's clearly fake, but it just seems so real. Where this woman started, like, she's doing her little intro to like the video. I think she was doing like a makeup video, and like her face just like stops and stares at the camera, and like she got possessed or something like that, and she just bashes her head against the table over and over and over again. And then she just lays her head back, and like blood shoots out of her head. Like my head physically hurt. Like I felt like the vein in my forehead was gonna pop, and like I was not right for that whole day. This happened like years ago. But
yeah, that's like one of those YouTube videos you come across at 2 a.m. when you shouldn't be on YouTube.
Oh man, I wish it was. I'm glad it wasn't 2 a.m. and it was in the middle of the day, and I was just so messed up. Like I stayed in my bed all day after that.
Yeah, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. So
yeah,
yeah, dude, I couldn't even remember. I couldn't even tell you how many of those videos I've seen. Like back when I was like, there were videos I definitely should not have seen when I was like 13, 14, 12 even.
Let's not talk about those, man.
But I've repressed them so hard I can't even like remember half of them.
Yeah, videos like that, those graphic, like real life videos, that type of stuff needs to be like boycotted, like from the internet, from at least our part of the internet. Because I know that stuff gets on like the dark web, but yeah, I think we should do without that stuff.
Well, speaking of boycotting, do you know that about Bayonetta 3?
What happened?
So Bayonetta 3, they announced that at the past Nintendo Direct, and the original voice actor of Bayonetta, I can't remember her name, but she is not reprising the role for Bayonetta in the new game. and it is because they offered her only $4,000 to do the voice acting in this movie. I mean, not movie game, and she decided that was very insultingly low, which I would agree with her. $4,000 for a AAA game like Bayonetta, who's been around and is well known. I think $4,000 is very low. She told, I think it was on Twitter or something like that, she told her fans to boycott the release of Bayonetta 3.
Oh yeah, her name is Helena Taylor.
Yeah, that's right.
She voiced the character in the first two games from 2009 to 2018. Yeah, so first of all, $4,000 bugging. Absolutely. Now, depending on where you land in voice acting land, you either get paid a lot and is doing a whole bunch of voice acting, or like animes, because anime uses like the same 7 characters or same 7 voice actors for every anime in America, every dubbed, or you get your little shine here and there because you just sound great on the mic. But for somebody who was the original voice of this character to be getting paid, what you said, 4,000, right?
Yeah, $4,000.
Not 40,000, not 400,000, 4,000 for the entire role.
Yep.
No royalties.
Nope. That's all it said, is that she was offered $4,000. I can read it out to you if you want.
At this point, like, you might as well. Let's make sure people understand this.
It says Helena Taylor, the original voice actor for Bayonetta, who is not returning to the voice of the character in Bayonetta 3, has spoken out about why she is not reprising the role. In a series of videos shared on socials, Taylor said she was offered $4,000 to return to the role of Bayonetta, an offer she described as an insult. Taylor has since called for the people to boycott the game ahead of its October 20th release. Hideki Kiyami, the executive director working on Bayonetta 3 and a well-known figure within developer of Platinum Games, has since responded to these claims. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we should boycott. For nerd's sake, I think we should boycott, because $4,000 for the iconic voice that is Bayonetta is freaking laughable for somebody of her stature. Now, like, I never played Bayonetta, but
damn, if it's that cheap to get like full voice acting for video games, I think we should just pay voice actors themselves. Like me and you should pool our money and pay for voice acting in the new Pokemon games.
Yeah, man, don't even bring up them and their voice acting thing. They released like a whole new trailer with like cinematic with the new gym leader that was fully voiced, and people are saying like, man, this would be real nice in our game. And they don't even have to do anything crazy. It could just be for like cinematics.
Just cutscenes, yeah.
It just cutscenes, and then for like just normal conversations with characters, just have like a little sound bite of them saying something. So if they're saying something that they're confused about, have a soundbite where they say like a "hey" that sounds confused.
Just have them go, "Huh? What?"
Like, it can be simple as that.
Have them do the home improvement.
I would yeah. Pokemon is like, because you were saying that the new gym leader, she's a streamer.
Yeah, she's a streamer and an influencer, as she put it herself in the video.
And you were like saying something like, yeah, this is Game Freak's way of them trying to be hip.
These old ass video companies are so desperately trying to get in touch with today's youth.
If they want to get in touch with us, why don't they just listen to what we want?
Exactly.
Now, fans aren't always 100% right or always know exactly what they want. But the few things that we do want, that we know could really profit, we highly recommend you guys listen to that game.
I think it is so funny that this gym leader is a streamer / influencer, because it wasn't too long ago that Nintendo was DMCAing, copyright striking, and just doing everything in their power to take down streamers and content creators that are posting anything to do with their game. And then they would take all the money from that video. And now, like, it was been a few years now, like, oh, this character, boom, streamer / influencer.
It's just a slap in the face.
Honestly, oh yeah,
honestly. But I don't know. Yeah, Nintendo. Nintendo really thinks that they're invincible.
Really invincible, huh? Well, speaking of the word invincible, have you heard about that series lately?
No, what happened?
So, they recently announced that they have...
Wait, hold on. You're going to tell me about how we're getting Season 2?
Well, we've known about Season 2 for a while. They're actually... it's been confirmed they're getting 3 more seasons. That's confirmed. But it's not about that. It's been recently announced that they're going to be getting a video game series.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
Yeah, I think Invincible themselves as a video game would be amazing, just because I want to be able to beat Omni-Man's ass. But
Is it gonna be
along,
like
oh sorry, go ahead.
so like so is it just based off the comic, or is it just gonna be like a little bit of a build your own hero type thing? Because I would really like that. Because the only other game I think of when I hear a build your own hero or like live in a world where you have like almost like a MMORPG with heroes of their universe is like what was that DC game? I can't even remember. DC Universe Online.
Yeah,
Yeah, where you had your own hero and you go around doing missions and stuff. I think that would be really cool because Invincible has like this expansive world that they showed off in their first season where it's just like it all fits together. They have magic characters, they have characters from other dimensions, they have characters who have powers based off science, or characters that are just literal gods. Like I would really like that. But what do they intend to do with this game? Do you know?
I haven't seen anything on that recently. Actually, at all. I just don't think they've announced what the game's gonna be yet. I'm hoping it follows the story you play as Invincible, but I could see why you'd want the open world. Well, create your own hero and all that. I think they'd both be good, but I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. The TV show is really good. That's why we're getting 3 more seasons. I think the video game will be good whichever way they do it. What I'm really worried about is the live action movie that's going to be coming out for it also.
Wait a minute. Time out. They're gonna make a live action movie.
Yeah, so when I was reading up on articles about this game, it said here, I can read it to you right here.
Okay.
Video games based on Skybound's long-running superhero series Invincible now confirmed to be in the works. In recent years, Skybound has been expanding Invincible in a number of different ways. Not only is there an original Not only is there an ongoing animated series on Prime Video that has been renewed for 3 seasons, but a live-action movie adaptation of the comic book has been in development since 2017. So, like, if the live-action movie's been in production since 2017, how have I not heard about it till now?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just one of those things where people can just say that and be like, "Yeah, we thought about it."
And if it's been in production since 2017, that means it was in production before the animated series took off. Wait, before the animated series even came out. That means it was in production before we even graduated high school.
Yeah, I think it was because what came out 2017? What
I don't know, probably nothing memorable. It was 2017.
Like, cause something in Marvel must have sparked the whole idea, while DC was still trying to figure out how to make a.
Wasn't it early 2018? That's when Infinity War came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, Infinity War came out in 2018.
Yeah, so it must have been around. No, it couldn't have been.
Spider-Man: Homecoming came out 2017. Let me double check that. What came out in 2017? Spider-Man: Homecoming. Because I think that was that. Avengers: Civil War happened. Yeah, so
that was
Spider-Man:
2017.
Homecoming came out in 2017. Bobby?
Civil War was 2017.
Civil War was 2016.
Oh, still, it seems like
just yesterday.
No, not really. It just seems like it's not far enough ago. Like, I feel like Civil War came out like 2014.
Nah. But
damn.
Yeah, new teenage hero. I'm worried about a whole live action adaptation because what makes Invincible really good is just how it's able to kind of create this world that can really only be done in animated or comic book setting, the comic book realm. Like how we said why a lot of anime adaptations fails, because you really can't capture anime the way anime can really capture itself in live action. So something like Invincible, even though he is like the Image Comics, an Image comic character, like you really can't get the gore of Invincible in it. Like it has to be R-rated. You can't really get off
just the first episode of the animated series, you see like the entire bootleg Justice League get their heads smashed in. There's no way they're gonna do that in the movie correctly.
Yeah, like I mean, you could if they want to go R-rated, yes, because Deadpool succeeded as an R-rated film.
That's true.
You know, but you gotta they're not just doing things like, oh yeah, he punched him so hard his head came off. Like, no, Omni-Man is punching people where his hand goes through their fist. Like, it's a little bit more accurate to what would actually happen. And yes, it can be done on film, but what is really the weight of this type of gore that they can put out just based off that part? Other than that, well,
back to what we were talking about before. With the live action Invincible coming out, is there a fan cast you'd want to play Invincible or Omni-Man?
This is probably gonna be the first time you hear me say this. I think just stay true to the character, how the characters look in the show. So like some characters did get changed, their races did get changed in the show. So many of the bootleg Justice League, the Guardians of the Globe, a lot of them just became more ethnic. A lot of them are just white, but most of them just became more ethnic after the show came out.
Mhm.
I think the main character Mark, he's Asian, so I would like an Asian character to probably play him, someone who's Asian, for representation reasons, and because that's how he was originally written. Even I think a little bit does play into his life from being Asian. Character like Amber, she's not actually black; she's actually supposed to be white, which I didn't see why they had to change that.
You know what I've never forgotten Invincible that because I just remember from what you just said. So you remember in the Invincible series how his father said he's basically 100% Viltrumite because their DNA is so pure that his mother's DNA didn't have basically no effect on him.
Mm-hmm.
So how does he have the Asian characteristics?
Actually, I didn't even know that bit about it, but knowing his father, I was probably lying again, because they're so pure. Like it could just be because it's a colonization thing. That's how I would write it. It could just be kind of like a superiority thing because they work so hard to make their society a utopia by cutting off the weak, and that they have this. I'm not sure if it's just natural to them or is it just because they had the science to do so, but they had like these smart atoms that can rebuild itself. That's why he can take such a beating and just get up the next day or something like that, or why they're so strong.
Yeah, but if his DNA, what I'm trying to get at is though, if his DNA is so pure that he's basically 100% Viltrumite, how does he have any characteristics from his mother's side of the family? Would he just look like any other Viltrumite?
Well, I mean, I would have to look at a side by side of him. I only say that because I didn't even know. Like they said he was, I believe, Korean. Like, hold on, let's fact check this real quick.
I think it's Korean, honestly, but I could be wrong.
Viltrumite race. Oh, thank you so much. Ethnicity, my bad. Mark is biracial. His mother is Asian American, and his father's Omni-Man is a extraterrestrial Viltrumite race who is presented as white and voiced as a white actor. It says, is Mark half Korean? Though Mark wasn't originally conceived as Korean American, he is already a biracial character. His superpowers do not come from a mad science accident or mutation or a transformative experience like someone like a Peter Parker. I think in the show it probably came out that way, or even in the comics they just kind of associated it like that. You never know, because they did. I mean, if they changed the Guardians of the Globe to be more ethnic, they probably would do the same thing with the main character, even though characters who are more fair-skinned really couldn't tell that specifically what type of ethnicity or background they're from. That's why some characters can get away with being other races because they share a very similar skin tone. Even looking at the picture I'm looking at now, just based off the face that him and his mom are making, they just do look alike. But that's only because of the picture that they captured. But it could be up in the air. I mean, I just assumed he was Korean because someone had brought it up in a video talking about Invincible and their characters.
Yeah, I want to say I've heard him. Heard somebody say he was Korean before, but like you said, it could be wrong. So I'm not gonna state it that it's fact, but it's what I've heard.
But it is said that his mom is Asian American.
Yeah.
So fan cast. I'm not really good with all actors. I just think anybody who fits the criteria and build of the character should play him. I think anybody could play outside of Mark. I think any character could pretty much play almost every character except for like Omni-Man. You got to get specific person to look like, act like, and walk in the way of Omni-Man to really capture. He's like a James Jonah Jameson. You can only really have one of them that exists, and then after that,
yeah, they should just get a buff actor to play it, but still have J. Jonah Jameson do his
CGI to him.
No, just give him his voice. Have him be the buffest dude, but make him just have them dub Jameson's voice over him.
Yeah,
I don't even know his real name. I just call him J. Jonah.
So iconic now as a Black Air Force energy character that it's just like you got to get it right this one time. There's just few people you can really just throw on there. Like example, Rock as Black Adam, and just be like, okay, yeah, we can accept him because it's The Rock. Like one of the biggest actors of all time is The Rock. We can throw him on this character. He kind of fits. We can say he's from Egypt because he could kind of pass as that if you didn't really understand ethnicities like that. But someone like Omni-Man, you really got to look at him and be like, someone has to set the tone for how this character will be portrayed as for the rest of ever. So yeah, you really got to be precise with him.
I just hope in the live action movie they do the "Think, Mark, think" scene. That's all I want.
Oh my, think, Mark, think.
Oh
my God.
Think, Mark, think. You are a toy. Sorry.
Oh, you know who I do want a fan cast? Now that I think about it, I would like to do Michael Keaton as Cecil. Do you remember who Cecil was?
Cecil. That sounds familiar.
He was the guy who worked for the government who handled.
Oh yeah.
Was like the director of
Yeah.
I think Michael Keaton could play a really good Cecil.
Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah, that's pretty much my only fan castings right now. Maybe just not an annoying Amber. Maybe make her better, like how she supposedly was in the comics. I heard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Do you have anything else? I'm at the end of my list.
Yeah, that was then for my list too.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for today's podcast. I think this one was a little bit longer than usual. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. As always, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, give us the highest rating possible, and bring as many people and friends as you possibly can, because we do need some attention. I'm sorry to say that, but just be on the lookout for any of our shorts, our videos that are still coming. Don't worry, guys. We say it all the time, but please just stay in touch.
Working out the final kinks and the details.
Yeah, we're definitely getting on our way towards that. We really do appreciate you guys listening as well. We don't ask for much. We just ask that you do those few things for us. And as always, nerds out.
Peace.